So, fellas, who's had a good week? I feel like most of us have had a cracking week. A little bit of focus around the discipline and using the calendar. Been epic to see. It's always good to have that energy of the group. It always inspires. I feel like it always inspires you to do more. And I wanted to have a bit of a reflection after a hot week, seeing where everyone's at and see where you guys are up to. Like, do some live coaching around, what you've achieved so far. Is there any adjustments we need to add in or things you need to focus on maybe, but most importantly, having a moment to actually think about, right, where was I previously and then where am I now? Okay. And then in that journey from A to B, are we still aiming at C? Are we looking at D? What is your vision? And then also bringing it back into the micro action of like that daily focus that ultimately brings the results to you faster. So, did anyone jot down those few questions that I popped in the chat? Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the struggles, the improvements, starting reps, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Go for it. Give us a hoy.
Um, so my starting weight was probably the heaviest I've ever been. Was 105.2, and that was on the 14th of January. And then my most recent weigh-in was the 8th of Feb, whenever that was, 5 days ago. Was 99.5.
Oh, good.
So that's I'm pretty happy with that. Just the struggles I had at the start was just the reps and just getting into a routine with training. I wasn't always training in the morning. Sometimes I was doing it in the afternoon, which is a bit of a struggle for me, depending on how my days looked. So now I've been more disciplined to train in the morning. So regardless of what time I get home, the training's done. I haven't seen too much of a change in my reps. My push-ups have doubled. My pull-ups have increased. So I think I can't remember. I might have been Cam who said a while ago to just up your every second rep by an extra rep to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So I've gone from 7 pull-ups to 8 or 9, alternate between 8 and 9.
Yep.
And squats, I've gone from 7 squats to between 8 and 10. So the max I can do is every second set of squats I'm doing 10.
Yep. Awesome. I think more, with the struggles, more so I was speaking about like what were the struggles before starting the program? So like what was like some of the frustrations? What are some of the things you're knuckling your head against? Was it food? Was it discipline? Was it laziness? Was it, like that's what I meant by the struggles. But the struggles with getting into that routine, I do resonate with getting into that habit and making it a part of you. And when it becomes a part of you daily, that's when it starts to click in and you get more momentum. This is where I find most guys fall off because they don't live it. They don't live and breathe it. They have to go to the gym. They have to do their 3 sessions in a week, and then they have a day off, or they have 2 or 3 days off a week, and the 2 or 3 days off a week get really comfy, and then it becomes 4 days off a week. So I find when you get into the routine of like, this is just who I am, it's what I do because I know this brings me a reward, and I just love turning up, you get much greater results. It's like that quote, the guy who loves walking will outlast the guy who hates sprinting. Like you can sprint for a little bit, but if you hate it, you're going to stop. Where the guy who loves walking, he'll just get more mileage done. So it's really about like how much can you just embody that daily training. And for you guys in the initial 90 days, the whole concept is give yourself 12 weeks of committing to 3 exercises and scaling those exercises to actually feel the differences in the body. All right. Once you've done the initial thing and you've got into that routine, like this is what I do, then we can program in different lifts. You can go to barbell, you can go to, you know, calisthenics, skill work, whatever it is, more bodybuilding style, whatever it is you want to plan into dense strength, you can do it. But first of all, to the basics, the pull up, the squat, and the push, it's just so simple to turn up every single day. The only difference is those who are committed versus those who make an excuse. That's literally the only difference. It's good to see your push-ups though. Been real good seeing your push-ups double, like noticeable difference in your speed and noticeable difference in your intention in the reps, which is epic.
Yeah, one of the biggest, I don't know whether you guys, years ago, Jordan, you might remember it. Did you guys ever get involved in that push-up challenge?
Is it like the 100 push-up challenge or something?
It was, no, it was 25 push-ups a day for 25 days, and then every day you nominated a mate to do them with you. Just an online thing. But like the massive difference for me was, and that was, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. It was when I was still at training at F45, Jordan. So it was a while ago now, but like I'd punch out 25 push-ups, no problem. So that's just a sign for me of how much I've fallen behind. So now I can, I think my maximum when I did my when you did the testing,
Yeah.
it was like half that. It was like 13. So that's a really good goal for me that I know, like as recently as 4 years ago when I was a lot lighter, I could just punch out 25 push-ups, no drama, whereas now I struggle to do a dozen. That's something that I want to work on.
Well, you're punching out now 40 in 10 minutes. So when you retest and whenever you feel like you want to retest, go for it. Just see where you're at. Wait till you feel fresh one day and then just bang it out. Replace your session with a max test and then maybe do a 5D something, like just do a smaller block. And it's good to just test yourself out. Like the other day I did some chin-ups, just Indy was hanging on to me and I punched out 6 chin-ups with Indy on me. So that's six chin-ups with 15 kilos added. It's every now and then just test it. Like if you feel like testing where you're at, go for it. See, test your pull-ups, test your push-ups, test your pistols, whatever you want to just kind of base in. You probably don't need to do more tests than once a month, but yeah, retest if you feel like you want to have a look at those numbers. Awesome. Very good. Anyone else? Actually, before I move on, Simon, your rows, because I think you're ready to go further underneath. So you need to shorten the rope a bit and go further underneath, more parallel to the ground. And if you at 3s or 4s, whatever, but you're going to build much more strength in that lower rep instead of because you're about 40, 37 degrees if I've seen right. You're just in between that like 35, 40 degree range. So you can get yourself even lower. Yeah. Cool. Anyone else who had some reflections on those questions?
Yeah, I did. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it. Don't I'll give you a Hoya or something.
Yeah, so my weight wasn't ever probably the thing, but struggles were consistently staying on the diet to inadvertently clear up my skin, which I knew would work. It was just sticking to it, which has now worked. So yeah, it's super clear now, which is good. And then yeah, the consistency obviously of training, which I've been pretty good at. So starting reps were 3 pull-ups, 4 dips, and 10 pistols each leg. And now up to 5 pull-ups, 7 dips, and anywhere between 20 or 30 pistols each leg. And I can probably bump up the pull-up and dips now, or at least alternate this week.
Yeah, huge.
Well, it's Tuesday, yeah. So from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You noticed a big shift?
Yeah, for sure. like the dips are pretty easy at 7 in terms of that, if that's what you're asking. But yeah, my skin's super clear, which is awesome.
That was like one of the main things.
Yeah,
I was like, just got to get that discipline in, repair that gut, give it a chance to heal, give it a chance and proper
yeah,
nutrients,
yeah,
start working on itself.
yeah.
That's solid, bro. That's solid. I'm stoked for you. It's so good to hear that. Like, it always reassures to me how beneficial the basics are. Like, so many guys out there, so many guys are just fucking trashing themselves with just stupid shit, and they don't know how easy it is. Like it is, and I speak to a lot of guys who are like, oh, dude, your diet sounds restrictive and boring or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't know what else you'd want to eat.
Yeah,
Like, I love eating meat, and then I'll have some fruit, and I don't really need much else. Like once your palate changes, once your gut microbiome changes, you really don't need a lot, and you don't need a lot from a nutrition standpoint outside of that stuff. So, if you guys are seeing rewards from that, and if you can stay consistent with it, give yourself 6 months of being consistent with your diet in this way, and tell me that doesn't fix a lot of things in your energy and your gut health, and all the basic stuff that people are struggling with. And if you guys, like, for instance, Cam had a bit of an issue with his skin. So for him, diverting from the diet can be more severe than someone who doesn't have a skin or a digestive problem. But like, if you want to have a pizza or fucking ice cream or something, like, do it once a month, do it whatever, do it, like, have a burger. Don't be like thinking you're gonna die and that you've like ruined yourself. But you can have that stuff every now and then, but don't. It's just like when you do, one of the worst things you can do for your health is have a weekly cheat meal. I don't know if you guys have been around that, like in the bodybuilding scene. It's like, that every Sunday they just get to gorge on every bit of food that they want to have, and they all got skin problems, they all got digestive problems, they all bloat, they got problems with brain fog. Their guts just get flogged every single week, and then they take a week of eating clean to repair, and then they go bang, flog themselves again. So, if you can keep it to a minimum, you can enjoy yourself a bit, but if you keep the basics in there as the 90% of the food, 95% of the food, you'll do well. You'll do extremely well. So awesome to hear, brother. Stoked for you. That's a big win for you, yeah. Epic. Mr. Aaron, mate, I've got to say, your pull-ups, brother, you're looking like a bloody rocket.
Yeah, they've come a long way, that's for sure. It's been the last week. I've just been trying to stay in front of him. So he said he's about to pump it up, so I might lose that soon, but he's been motivating me silently. But I think I've shed a few kilos over the last week and a half. Like, I've dropped a heap of weight, and I think just with the consistency, and everything's come along. It's been a bit of a spurt in in reps. It's been awesome. So going to keep riding that. See how we go.
Yeah, it's
feeling good.
Noticeable shift since that last chat we had.
Oh yeah, wild. Like, I filled out all the questions that you put in the chat, and I wasn't really sure of this when I started the program, but it became apparent. Yeah, but it became apparent after the first couple of weeks. My main struggle was letting myself get overstressed just about normal things, like work's going to be busy, things are going to happen, things are going to go wrong, life happens. But I had been for the past few months, like, drinking in the afternoon, self-soothing with a beer and all that sort of stuff. And ultimately got to the point where that was becoming super detrimental, and that little hit of dopamine was nothing in comparison to the negative effects the next day and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't going wild and getting pissed or anything, but just the accumulation of stuff every day was just silly. So ever since starting the program, that's been the main improvement that I've got here, is just the increased energy, productivity, and mental clarity, and the ability to just not stress about normal life things. That's been my main improvement since starting the program. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always such a reminder. Hey guys, you hear this stuff and you're like, why do we do it? Why do we have like 2 to 3 beers in the Arvo, or even 1 beer in the Arvo? You know, it's like it's so.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a guy in the surf the other day, and he was saying how for years he's struggled with anxiety, like he gets like proper future based, like he can't actually get into the present. He's always thinking about fuck what's going to go wrong in the future, and he's always a bit like antsy. And he's a good dude. And then he said he gave up the piss for 3 months, and he's like, all of it went away. He's like, I literally could have a conversation. I was calm. And he goes like, fuck, I don't know why. I think I was using alcohol to escape the feelings that alcohol was creating. You know, he's like the stress, the lack of energy, the lack of motivation, the lack of clarity, the brain fog, the lack of discipline, the lack of self-belief, the anxiety, the fear, all of it was coming in because his body was out of balance because he's putting alcohol in his system so much or every day. And he wiped it out and everything just leveled up. And it's always important. Like I don't have anything against alcohol. You know, I'll have a drink every now and then, but I'm like, I know these days that if I have more alcohol in my life, my mind's slippery. Like I'm not sharp. And so while it's all right every now and then, I think it is a really beneficial thing to commit to. Like go 90 days, go 12 weeks without a drop and see how you feel. Like you're not, no one's gonna not have a birthday because you're sober. You know, it's only you that's got to deal with everyone's comments anyway. So when you're strong in your values, like, yeah, cool, whatever. You guys keep drinking, have more for me, and get after it. That's awesome, bro. So stoked to hear that. And it's been a noticeable shift in the way you're turning up, which is epic. So epic. Cool. Anyone else? There's some solid stuff there. Some Cam skin cleared up.
I'll have a go, mate.
Yeah, mate.
My starting weight was 105 kilos, so bit the same as Simon. Currently weighing about 91. So big drop. Been floating around that 91, 92 for a while. But yeah, the first couple of months the weight just dropped off. When I started, couldn't do pull-ups, couldn't do dips, couldn't do assisted pistols. So I was 10 push-ups, 8 squats, 8 ring rows. So now doing four to five pull-ups, 3 to 4 dips. So the dips took me a long time to get to. Just the shoulder strength and the ability to actually hold my own weight in the rings was really hard. And then 5 pistols on each leg, still assisted by a ring just for balance because I can ass heavy and I roll over if I don't have a ring. So my real struggles before starting were motivation, food choices, stress, anger. Now exercise every day, back footy training. So some days I'm exercising twice a day. My consistency's there. My food choices are good. My moods and anger or quickness to anger has improved. Still not perfect. A lot of work to be done there. And I'm trying to become more focused on that aspect of what I'm doing rather than the training, that sort of stuff, because when I'm not injured, I'm ticking along well with that sort of stuff. So hit the wall a couple of weeks ago with a bit of a sore chest and busted rib from a water skiing accident. So that slowed me up, but I'm back going again now. So
Yeah, solid. And when you say you're trying to work on that anger, what does that look like?
It's just being present in the moment and being aware of how I'm feeling and managing that feeling rather than letting it out. And then doing the journaling away from situations. And if a situation does occur or I get grumpy at home, I'm rather than stewing on it, I'm actually stepping away and reflecting on it and going, okay, what area what could have I done differently? Where did I go wrong? And yeah, so there's less of those moments. But when they do occur, I'm actually working my way through it rather than just going fuck the world and getting angry with lots of different things like we used to do in the past.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking repeat 2 days later, wouldn't it?
Do you think building your confidence in your training and stuff has given you more patience with yourself?
I think putting the time and the energy and the focus into myself, which I wasn't doing, and allowing myself to have time to do those things is what's helping. Like I wouldn't have ever made. You go back a couple of months ago, I would have never made 30 minutes in an afternoon for myself to put time towards thinking about the world or how I'm feeling about things and that sort of stuff. You just would have never done it. So I think that focus, and I think early on our conversations and in the group were about you've got to look after yourself first before you can do anything else. And I keep falling back to that because I was a classic for not looking after myself whatsoever. Head down, busy with work, and ignore where I was at, how I was feeling. So yeah, it's trying to tap into what you're actually feeling and experiencing, and that's the sort of where I'm working my hardest at the moment to try and be present and aware of where I'm at.
Solid. Who else resonates with that? Like just with everything that's on your plate and all the responsibilities and jobs and whatever you got to do through the day, you kind of go like, fuck, like going and training or going and doing whatever. I don't know if I can be bothered because it's going to take time from, XYZ job, or, I can't be around and help, or like there's like some level of guilt or shame about going and training. Does anyone feel that, or has felt that in the past? I know I get it. I still get it often. It's really interesting. I still get it often, even with the level of awareness and realization of how beneficial this is. Some days I'm like for instance, if like Nick's 25 weeks pregnant at the moment, so she's sore and she needs to like sit down on the couch and she's kind of melting, and Indy's like having a bit of a blowout and whatever. I like proper don't feel like I should go and train. Like I'm like, no, shouldn't. And then I just have a chat with Nick and go, hey, I really need to go and do my training, and I'll just take Indy with me. And she's like, yeah. But like there's just like this resistance to actually asking for it. It's like the easier option is just to not do it and just to do everything else instead. I reckon a good 8 out of 10 guys I speak to, actually 8 out of 10 women that I speak to who are like, oh, my husband would, benefit from that so much, but he just never would do that for himself. How many guys are out there? And it's literally 10 to 30 minutes a day. It's really not that hard, eh?
I've just the thing I got out of Dion's explanation there was I just written down put time into yourself. Like it's that basic, isn't it? It's that simple. That like just give yourself 30 minutes a day and train, and you always feel better. It's like that saying, you never feel shit house after a training session.
You
never say I'm feeling worse off for doing that 30 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it is just turning up, and you guys are. It's epic to see everyone with that little calendar on their fucking windows or whatever, because you're like, I don't want to miss a day. I don't want to be that guy who misses a day, right? So everyone's like, I got to get it done, and it just having these systems and this like community behind you just makes you go that extra effort, makes you go that extra mile. And I'm telling you, once you put 30, 60, 90, 120, once you put those days compounding, and that's why I've done the number system like that as well. 1 + 1 is not 2. Like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 days of training. 1 + 1 = 3. Like you get a compounding effect. Like not actually that 1 + 1 = 3, but you get the compounding effect. Looking at Jez's face, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like the compounding effect from getting 5 days in a row, 10 days in a row, 12 days in a row is bigger than just single days banked back to back. It's literally the compounding effect of growth, consistency, discipline. It's so beneficial. It's so epic. So yes, anyone else? Had some good feedback there. Thanks, Dion.
Yeah, I'll jump on, and just on what Dion said there, it's occurred to me. I definitely have had that guilt thing, and I think that's been one of the, well, whether it's been the main thing or it's been what I've told myself is the main thing why I had stopped training for sort of 8 months, and it's that sort of, we've got 2 little twin boys, so times definitely restricted compared to before, and there was definitely a guilt thing because I felt like I was leaving my partner with the boys and taking that time, and if I did take that time, I felt that guilt to, oh, I should be working, I shouldn't be doing anything for myself, and that's a definitely big one. And I actually went back to I've now, it sounds such a small thing, but I rearranged my values. So I was family, legacy, health, and now I've just put health to the front. And every time I'm thinking about what my decisions are, that's number one. So if I'm short of time, and it's made a massive difference, you know, if I've got 10 minutes, I'm not going to go and try and work for 10 minutes. I'll do something for myself, or I'll prepare food if I can't train. And actually just that little change in mindset's been quite a big boost, actually. Yeah, and it's made a huge difference. Like the other day, I had a shocker of a day, all evening, just a real shitstorm. And then I think I saw someone posted their bloody piece of paper. I was like, I can't not post that. I need to do this. And I crammed it all into 10 minutes just to get that fucking little tick in that box. And it made a massive difference. And afterwards, I felt amazing. I was like, yeah, I've done it. And yeah, it's good. It brings out the bit of competitive side, and
But
it's made a massive
but Tom, how good does it feel when you tick that fucking box?
Yeah, it feels great. Absolutely. Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
I love about Dents is you can turn 10 minutes into a very strategic, beneficial session. Like it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking just do random shit for 10 minutes. Like it's proper structured. You make it, you're getting, your body's getting a true reward out of it, you know, and it's a system that you can eventually grow a lot more. Like if I'm going to do a 10 minute block, I know I'm going to get 10 to 15 handstand push-ups in. I'm going to get 50 to 70 pull-ups in. I'm going to get, you know, anywhere from 50 to 90 dips in, depending on the day. And like that's a serious amount of work from where I was last year. But then I look at guys like Nico. I don't know if you guys have checked Nico out. I'll drop him in the group, but Nico is the guy who inspired me most to really wrap my head around Dents. And man, this guy, he's like crazy shit in 10 minutes. So he does these little 10-minute test blocks, and he sees the amount of volume that he can get done in 10 minutes. And it's seriously impressive, the shit he's doing. And like, he's just like, man, I didn't start at this level. I started at a level that was way below this. And I've scaled my Dents numbers up, and now I can do stuff that's impressive. And it's allowed me to do so much other stuff in my training as well. So it's a seriously powerful system for anyone to use wherever in the world, which is so cool. So cool. And your training's looking epic, Tom. Pull-ups looking good.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's good to go back and reflect on the start. And I approached it quite cautiously because I've got old injuries and I know what I'm like. I just thought I'll get into this and things will start playing up. So I sort of stripped it back. But I started with doing 10D on like 7 on the TRX row, 8 on normal press ups, and then 8 cyclist squats. I've managed to move that onto pull ups, which the main thing for me was to get moving onto that without flaring the shoulder up. And I'm now up to 3, alternating 3 to 4.
Yeah.
The deficit press ups, I can get into those quite deep now, and I'm back up to, I'm doing 10 of those. Don't feel it's quite ready to go to dips. I'm a little bit cautious about that at the moment, so I'm just going to try and find ways to increase that. And then I use the cyclist squat again, just looking off the knees. And they've been going really well. I'm up to the cyclist squats 10s with 16 weight, so I'll just carry on adding the weight to that for a bit longer, I think. Awesome. No, it's been great, and even that 10-minute block, it was like 200 210 reps
Mm.
in 10 minutes of those, and it felt good. And on that day when it was quite an overwhelming day, and actually it felt better to compound the exercise into the 10 minutes because it got me a bit more out of puff, got me a bit more sweaty. So I think it probably just got more crap out of my system. So actually I might throw that in deliberately every now and then, like once a week, just try and just reduce it down and do more exercises in that 10 minute, just for a bit of variety. And I think it felt good that day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way, and you start to self-learn a lot with Dents. You'll start to like self-assess a bit of like where you're at. Do you need to like have two lay days where you just strip the numbers back and help yourself refresh a little bit? Like I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm only doing a 20-minute block at the moment. So I do 5 minutes pulls, 5 minutes dips, 5 minutes handstand push-ups, 5 minutes pistols. Because in the next 10 days, when I'm feeling it, I'm gonna go for my 10D10. So I'm gonna actually try and I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna fucking crack that 10D10. And I can feel it, like I'm on the verge of it. So I'm just giving myself like, 10, been doing it for about 6 days now. I'm going to give myself about a 10-day period just to let the nervous system fully refresh. But I'm going to go into the gym and just rip that 10D10. And, you're able to do that, which is really cool. You can, as long as you stay consistent with the movement patterns, you can up and down your schedules. And if you feel like you're plateauing, have a few quiet days of just doing minimal reps and work on movement quality, and then come back and hit it again. Like, don't be afraid to experiment with it. And if you want any technical, insights, just send me a message and be like, "Yo, I want to play with this or whatever," and I'll flick you through some voice memos or whatever.
Yeah, I've found for me, I have had to take every few days, like probably every 5th day, just an offload day, either taking the weight off for a day, or I use like an arabesque or an RDL and an overhead press just every now and then, just to mix it up, because I do feel one of the things I wrote down here was I feel confident in the old injuries and the soreness, which everyone said would, and I kind of knew deep down it would, but that disappeared. So I was pretty sore to start with, and I don't get any soreness now. I can do back-to-back days, but I do feel every few days I do throw in some different exercises just to just be a bit, as I say, err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I started about 97 and I'm down 94, 95. Sort of like we said the other day, plateauing a little bit around that. But for me, I've been surprised. I feel like I put on quite a bit of muscle mass as well, as I've lost a bit of body fat, and that felt like I'm going back to sort of how I was before I stopped training when the boys arrived, and that's been quite nice to feel. It's made me feel a bit more like myself. I guess it's heading in the right direction that way. Just sort of the general shapes changing a bit, which is nice to feel. And probably one of the biggest things for me is like coffee. I've knocked it on the head, and it wasn't actually too difficult. And actually, when I can't remember whether you, Dion, or yourself were talking about you were talking to someone, you're saying someone, it was you in the surf, the guy in the surf talking about booze.
Yeah.
And I, since knocking that, I hadn't realized, I think I kidded myself that the coffee was giving me this clarity in the mornings. It was making me anxious. It was making me fucking anxious. And it's only when I quit, I'm like, I can work and I still feel focused, but I feel calm. And I wasn't calm. It's like almost looking back, I think my blood pressure would have been up. I always felt like there's too much blood in my body, and I was focused, but I was a bit charged. And I thought it was going to be tougher than it was, and it's not. I don't miss it. I can go without now, and it's no problem at all. I'll probably have an occasional one if I go for a walk with the missus, but I'll do it out of choice rather than habit, necessity. So that's been huge actually, and it's helped my gut. For sure. So yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, big man.
And just on that, it is really inspiring. And I don't want to everyone, all you fellas are inspiring with the videos and things, but I'd say, Simon, I don't think you've missed a day, and seeing your videos every day, it's quite inspiring it's very easy to do the training and not get the camera out, but actually getting the camera out is part of the process, and it does keep you true, and it keeps you pure to the process, doesn't it? So it's really inspiring to have someone who's like, I'm sorry if anyone else is doing it every day, I haven't noticed, but I don't think Simon's missed a day.
No, yeah, Cam and Simon are on the money every day. I haven't missed a day, so they're ripping it. But it's the reason I ask you guys to check in, and while I understand this, fuck the social media thing, filming and editing videos and stuff. That's part of what I do for my business. So for me, it's easy. And I understand it's challenging for most guys who haven't never done it. But it is literally you're playing a video game, and it's a dopamine effect on the brain. And so when you start uploading daily videos and then you see the progression in yourself through your videos, you're like, fuck, this character's getting better. Like this work is paying off. Like I remember filming myself when I couldn't do a handstand push-up. And now I've, got videos of me doing 2 and I'll be able to do 3 soon. And it's like I don't know about you guys, but in my brain, I'm most inspired by myself. Like when I can see my own progression, I'm like, fuck, this is real. This is not some Instagram reel of some dude overseas doing something cool. Like it's legit. It's me in my backyard putting the work in, getting the results. And to me, that's a really it hacks my brain. I get this massive dopamine squirt where I'm like, the work pays off when you turn up and you do it, and it's a really good reassurance. And so then when you're seeing the other guys progress as well, like I don't know if you guys have seen like that. Aaron's pull-ups have definitely been very impressive. A very impressive leap. Like I'm looking at everyone's technique and I'm like assessing all the videos, and I can see it when people jump, they have a quantum leap because they're consistent and it goes bang. I can see it in Cam's dips. They're looking much cleaner. I see these things. Simon's push-ups. When I see them, I go bang. There it is. I can see it happening. All right. So the more you check in, the more you keep that finger on the pulse, you're going to get more and more results out of it, and it'll hack the way our brains work as well. Awesome. So who else we got? How you going, Dean, Stephen, Jez? A little bit more quiet.
I'll go. You got me. Huh?
Go for it. Yep.
Yeah, I reckon probably just the mental thing that I've noticed the last week or two, like the same thing, probably had a couple of average days and probably just handled it a lot better. Like probably just stepped back and thought about it and had processed a bit rather than like blowing off the handle and blaming everyone and just kind of, trying to find a solution to move forward. And I think that has definitely come from one would be improvement nutrition. And probably their consistent training. Like I was probably doing it a bit before, but I think the nutrition's sort of stepped it up a bit as well. And just energy, like say last year before Christmas, same thing, a couple of beers here and there after work, whatever, and then I'd come home and I'd have a bit of computer work to do, and I'd be falling asleep on the lounge by 8:30. Whereas now I'm sort of, if there's things I've got to get done for the next day to set it up, I'll just sort of get in and get it done. And it could be 10 o'clock. And I'm like, man, I could keep going if I wanted to. Like, it's just, it's been a bit of a step up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you've noticed it in like your sustainability of energy throughout the day. So not just like energy in the morning, but energy in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Or in the evening.
Yep.
You're gonna be David Goggins soon, mate. You'll be punching bloody 50K runs out at night, yelling at people, yelling at the bar. That's awesome, brother. And so how has your training been going? Because you hit miss at the start with it, but have you been all right on the discipline calendar?
Yeah, good. No, I was pretty good at the start, just trying to chew through the pull-up thing. Like I sort of started about, I think it was 2 to 3 pull-ups, and I'm sort of getting that 3 to 4, but I'm still trying to get and I started, stacking every second set, trying to improve that. I got the push-ups and the squats sort of from 6 to 10 now, but just the pull-ups, I'm sort of just trying to increase the reps there.
Yeah. And so is that on the ring rows or that's on actual pull-ups?
Actual bar. I tried the bar, trying to crank that up a bit first before I went to the ring rows.
Yeah. So with the dense, ideally we want to be working. We want to be getting more volume in. So if you're struggling with like 3s, I would actually recommend you go and maybe do every second day on the ring rows. Yep. And literally do like 10D10 if you can get 100 reps on the ring rows, because you're laying so much tissue and strength into that shoulder girdle and into the muscles that are pulling muscles, and you're on a horizontal vector, which isn't completely transferable to a vertical vector, but you're laying new tissue. And once that muscle starts getting stimulated, you're going to be able to overcome gravity better, overcome your body weight. That will then transfer to your vertical vector. So maybe play around with every second day do your ring rows, because you can do pull-ups already. So no point just getting rid of them. But if you do every second day, like ring row, pull up, ring row, pull up, you should get a bit more volume in, because then you're not just doing like 20, 30, 40 reps. You're actually going to be getting the odd day where you're doing 90 to 100 reps on that muscle group as well. So that's where you get a faster result out of that. So that's good to hear. With all of you fellas, if you get to, or when you get to 10D10 on an exercise, that's your cue to either add weight or add intensity. So if you're adding weight, like for instance, like Tom's added a kettlebell to his squats because he doesn't want to do pistols because of his knees, that's cool. So you can stay at 10s and you can go up, or you could go even lower and add more weight if you was feeling ready for it. But if you want to progress the movement, once you get to 100 reps in 10 minutes, that's an indicator that, okay, you've passed that level for that movement. You can do 100 reps in 10 minutes. Let's make the movement harder. So that would be where you go from a push-up either to like an incline push-up where your feet are up above your body, feet up on a bench or couch or something, and then you start working on that, which will hit the higher parts of shoulders and pecs. Or you go to dips. Okay, dips will hit the lower part and then the shoulders opening up more. Or, you can start working and then once you get your dips to 10D10, then you're looking at things like handstand push-ups or muscle ups or whatever it is, you're starting to increase the intensity in the movement. So the goal is to get all the movements to 10D10 and then work past that into a harder movement and scale back down to the bottom of the ladder and rework your way back up. So yeah, this is, I'm pumped because I'll drop Nico's link in the chat. Have a look at him. This guy's been doing like 15 to 20 minute sessions for 2 years, and you guys will be fucking blown away at what he's done in 15 to 20 minutes a day. Like, it's insane. He's an absolute athlete. And like guys who'd be doing like fucking stupid CrossFit and like hours in the gym, not that CrossFit itself is stupid, but blowing themselves out, doing these massive sessions, struggling to recover. Like Nico doesn't train hard. He just trains smart for 15 to 20 minutes a day, and he increases his numbers, and he can do the most psycho shit. And it's so inspiring because I'm like, mate, I want better results with less effort in life as I get older. I want to be able to optimize systems, make myself more efficient as a human being instead of like having to keep flogging the horse like I did when I was younger. So, and as a dad, you've got so many things on your plate. You don't need to be in the gym for 60 to 90 minutes. You don't. You can get better results with less time invested. So it's real good to see you guys putting in the effort. It's awesome. How about you, Dean or Steve?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I've dropped about 5.5 kilos.
Very nice.
I thought it would be more, but I'm probably stacked on a bit of muscle, so feeling good. Struggles were just getting it done beforehand. Just making that time. My reps, I started with 2 on the pull-ups, 3 on the dips, and then just 8 air squats. Today I hit 5 pull-ups, 7 dips, and 4 pistols, or 2 pistols. What is it? 20 a leg.
Damn.
So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, just heaps more mental clarity, motivation, energy levels, like all these other guys have said.
Yep.
Can confirm.
Can reassure it works, the system. So with the struggles beforehand, were you struggling with, what was your biggest thing, like time, discipline?
Yeah, just discipline. I mean, I got the gym gear at home. Just in that guilt of, going away from the family stuff in the afternoons and that. I've also helped, I think the ice bath has helped a lot because it, I don't know, I just look forward to it at the end and no longer have to sweat for 2 hours after. You just cool down instantly and makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, the ice bath is such a game changer. Have you got an ice bath set up, Jez?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got one of those temporary ones you recommended.
Yeah, awesome.
It's good, yeah.
Awesome. Jeremy came to a retreat with us in what was that? 2018.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, was that Byron Bay?
Yeah, 2018 and 2019 did his first ice bath. He was like, woo! That was
I reckon my shoulders will hit my ears. I was
we had 100 bags of ice, and that was that was some serious ice baths. That was a ripper. So yeah, mate, that's awesome. So good to hear. And Dino, nice to know that discipline paying off. And the ice bath really is such a game changer. It really knuckles in. It like glues everything together. I feel on the discipline front when you can sit
Yeah.
in the bath. Like Nick's not here tonight, but Nick has said the ice bath for him has been the nail in the coffin. Like it's been the thing that's really sealed the deal for him in his own mind. And when he gets in that thing, he knows he's winning. And when he doesn't get in it, he feels completely different. And he's like, and now we're working on getting to a level where he's expanding to use that same nail in a coffin without having to have the ice bath as like a crux. But it's always a tool. It's always there. You can always use it. You can always get that buzz up. You can always get, in there, get that vibe, concrete the way you want to feel, and then bring that into, different environments if that's what you need to do. It's so powerful doing that. It's epic. Solid feedback. And Mr. Stephen.
Yeah, lucky last. Always keen for a chat on social media, boys. Yeah, it was just consistency. Like I had every excuse under the sun, and I was feeling that guilt. I'm more to avoid the guilt. I get up early, so I get up 4:15. Even now, I get up 4:15 in the morning to get my stuff done before the family starts waking up. And like I live on a farm, so there's always 1,000 jobs to do. But yeah, it was just there's always something better, always something else to do, or and I think it's more probably some of the stuff some of you fellas have said. It's a lot of people pleasing attitudes, where I'll do what someone else wants all the time, where I've just got to put myself first and get my shit done before worrying about anyone else. But it's been really good, that white sheet. I think I was day 30 yesterday, so I think the first 23 or so days outside of that white sheet, I think I hit about 19. So basically missed a day every week. But now, yeah, seem to be getting on track. But it's a shit show if I miss the morning, it's fuck. I've been doing it in the afternoon, but it's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, definitely if I get up in the morning, it's a lot easier and getting it done.
Win the morning, win the day, they say.
Yeah.
It does definitely feel like that. Feels like if you can get it done in the morning, then you have actually won the day. Whatever comes at you, you're ready for.
And you get home at 6 o'clock and whatever it is, and I'm happy. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I got that done. It's like this relief off me that I've actually got it done. I don't know when I got to do it. It's it's all the jobs in the afternoon. It's a shocker. But you get it done. But it's definitely better for the mind if I do it in the morning. You have a better day. You get the heart going early in the morning. You have a better day, I think, behind it all.
Yeah. Huge.
I haven't lost any weight, but is a thing. I was gonna see. Weight wasn't really my thing, but I was 92. I might be 91 or something now. That's it.
Yeah. So for a lot of the guys who don't have, for any of you guys who don't have a lot of weight to lose, or you don't have a lot of fat really to burn through, it's actually when you've got this amount of volume in your training, you very rarely see big shifts in weight because you're adding muscle mass at the same time. And muscle, as you guys probably know, muscle's 3 times as much as fat tissue. So, if you only put a little bit of muscle on, it's going to take on the same weight as, 3 times the amount of fat. So that's where I don't think the scales are always the most beneficial feedback mechanism. Think about how your clothes are fitting. Think about your energy. Think about your testosterone. So your drive in the day. Are you more confident, focused? Is your body feeling stronger? If all of those boxes are being ticked, I wouldn't worry about the scales. However, what I was going to address last before we move on is, so you guys are coming through your second month into month 3, and then for the other guys on as well. If you feel like you're in a plateau and you really want to break just smash the glass house, smash through it, the lean protocol is an 18-day protocol, which is just lean meats for 5 days, and then you have a carb refeed or a high fat refeed day, so you can basically diet break for a day, and then you do 4 days lean, and then you diet break, then you do 3 days lean, diet break. What happens is you it's a very high stimulus on your body with protein leverage. And so you'll start chewing through fat, you'll start burning your glycogen stores in your body. So you'll have no sugar in your body present, very high in ketones. You're super focused in those 5 days. You can sometimes have a little dip in energy because you've dropped out the fat and the carbohydrates, but it's usually an adaptation period. However, during that 18-day cycle, as you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you will notice big shifts in your body from about day 10 to day 15. Okay, so it takes 10 days to kind of adapt. And then on the third phase of that, in the 3-day cycle, you should start to see big notices in differences. So if that's something you guys want to talk about, just shoot me a message personally around that. But the protocol is in the Facebook group. It's under the 3rd month, where the ancestral diet is, or the lean accelerator code. And so have a look at them and see, okay, am I in a plateau right now where I just want to commit to 18 days of smashing it? Or am I in a pretty good routine and I just want to continue banking these wins? So wherever you're at personally, you can kind of just make that tweak or that adaptation to take yourself to a new level. So anyway, that can all be handled. Oh yeah, go Tom.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Is it okay to talk about that now? I don't know if anyone else is interested in that, but where I tried it a little bit before and found it a bit of a struggle because I wasn't sure. Would you have any advice on how to work out how much? I normally include fatty meats in everything I do and reduce, not always super fatty meats, but going very lean. Do you find you need to like add an extra 30% or 50% of volume of meat? Would you just do it intuitively?
I always eat until satiation. So I have this innate trust in my body. Like I with what I know now, I have an innate trust that my body will gives me the signal when I've had enough. And so I was eating like topside steak, lean burger patties, and rump steak. I'd just trim the fat off the rump, and I would literally they'd basically be my meals. And then I was doing 5 eggs, 3 of the eggs, I took the yolk out, and then I had 2 yolks, so just the tiniest bit of fat. And I found I could eat those meals, like I could eat either the lean burger patties, the topside steak with salt and garlic powder, and I would eat to the point where I just go, bang, that's enough, all done. And my body would be like, right, that's I'm satiated. And then throughout the day, if I needed more and top up on it, I'd just have another meal or whatever. But because it's that 5-day sprint, I do tell people just to load up on the lean meats. Like if anything, eat more than you think you need in the first 5 days. So you kind of bring yourself into a bit of a calibration, and you'll get some self-feedback around that. But yeah, it's like I've seen it across a lot of guys and it's very beneficial, but we only do it for 18 days because there is no fat or very low amounts of fat. So it's not something you want to do long-term for your hormone profile. But fat's one of the biggest precursors for hormone production. So we've got to have fat in the diet. Carbohydrates is a different story. I don't really think carbohydrates are that necessary depending on your output and how you adapt and your mitochondrial health. But I do think you can get away with dipping out of carbs for a longer period, but fat is definitely essential, and I wouldn't go past the 18 days without having maybe 2 weeks of a refeed. So yeah, but it's interpersonal. I don't like doing it from a cookie cutter approach and just saying like one thing for everyone. So that's why I like to personalize stuff. The protocols are there just as a kind of like a guideline. And then any of your personal questions, just shoot through to me so we can troubleshoot on the fly.
Sweet. Cheers.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Well, we're heading on 8 o'clock, so may as well wrap it up. Last thing, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I am running a weekend get together on the 1st of March, 1st to the 3rd of March. So if anyone fancies hanging out for 3 days and training their ass off and going deep on this stuff, that's available to you guys, and then you guys in the program get a discount on the attendance. So if you do want to talk about that, it's going to be a ripper weekend. We do heaps of breath work, ice baths, training, values work, lots of conversation around what this year looks like for you as a man and as a father, and getting really clear on some stuff. So if that's something that tickles the fancy and you want to spend some time in person with other dads getting after it, then yeah, certainly reach out and we'll have a chat about it. But apart from that, epic to see everyone getting after it. It's been proper enthusiastic to see the videos every day and the boxes being ticked. So yeah, just got to congratulate you all. It's good chat. Good to hear where you're all at. Everyone's smashing it. So keep hammering. Unmute yourselves and yeah, we'll say your final words and we'll finish her up there.
Hey, pals.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Keep at it.
See you later. Thanks, mate.